Hello, and welcome to Collect Jurassic World. I'm Victoria.
And this is Tim.
And we are your hosts on this adventure through all things Jurassic World. Hello, parkgoers! Welcome back for another episode of Collect Jurassic World. It is great to have you on board for another adventure through all things Jurassic. So we're going to be going through our park announcements, where we have a lot to talk about, some really exciting reveals from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line, and some other dinosaur things as well outside of Jurassic. Asset tracking, we'll be talking about the latest and things that are starting to hit stores. And we also got something pretty big to talk about for around the Jurassic World that has taken the Jurassic fan community by storm over the past couple of weeks. So really excited to get right down to it. So let's go ahead and head over to the park control room. Hey, Tim, how are you doing over there?
I'm doing great. Again, welcome everybody. And we're going to start off with these very exciting park announcements. Like you said, there's lots to reveal. And one of the bigger things that we're going to talk about today is Primal Collection.
Yeah, such an exciting revelation that went up on Collect Jurassic and Jurassic Outpost last week. And there's a lot of stuff on tap for 2020. There's a few things missing, but there's a lot of good stuff. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting taking a deep dive into all of that. So yeah, lots of really cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mattel's coming strong in 2020 with more Jurassic World toys. I think we talked a little bit in the Comic-Con episode about Primal Attack. How it's going to be like figures with a new action feature, sort of like, a little bit more involved than Dual Attack. So there's plenty to digest here. So we might as well get started.
Let's do it, Tim. So Primal Collection, I am using the article over on collectjurassic.com. And so this was written by Tom, and he really broke down all of the assortments that are going to be part of the Primal Attack line. Now, we got our first glimpse of Primal Attack maybe about a month ago now, right? I think it was the Tarbosaurus. Yeah, we got our first look at the packaging. And so the first assortment that we have here, and this should be no surprise, they're bringing back attack packs. It seems to be a pretty successful assortment for them. They seem to sell through pretty well in stores. And it looks like a pretty fair mix of some new species, but mostly repaints.
Yeah, and some of the repaints are pretty cool, and we can kind of get those out of the way first. We have, always on the show, disclaimer about my dinosaur name pronunciations, but we have Rampharinkus, we have Minmi, and we have Stygimoloch, and those are just the repaints that we know of. And just real quick, the Herosaurus and the Protoceratops are in here too with paint schemes that were released before. I don't know. I kind of feel like they're not going to just repack those, right?
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that these pictures are pretty early on, and sometimes they have some filler and some, FPO, like for placement only stuff that I think maybe isn't always final. But those repaints, though, I mean, I think they actually look pretty cool, especially the Minmi to me is like a big improvement on the first figure.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like the first one. Like, it's one of my favorite attack packs. This one's cooler, right? It reminds me a little bit of the Metriacanthosaurus.
Yeah, a little bit. I like his little eye. I think that's what bugs me about the other one is the big eye feels a little bit like Land Before Time Spike a little bit.
Sure.
Whereas this one feels a little bit more grounded. But again, this is just a photo. Who knows? Maybe it'll come out with a big eye.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the Dracorex is green this time around, like a green and like cream color and with some black stripes. It looks really cool. I'm always down for, like when I was a kid, like, I don't know, like dinosaurs were green, like in my head, like my head canon, they were just green, and like this makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very muted. And Dracorex is like such a shelf warmer, so I'm a little like surprised to see it again already.
Yeah, they might have had it planned out like way before though, the last one released.
And I think it all comes down to case packs too. Like if they're stuffing 3 Dracorex in every case, like it's going to be self-warmer, whether it's popular or not.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And, I never loved the Rampharinkus the first time around, but it seemed to sell through pretty well from what I could tell.
Yeah, me too. And this one, to me, is like another kind of redemption figure. That one was very bright, and that didn't help that it kind of had exaggerated cartoony features. Yeah. So I like the paint job on this one.
It's better. The last one, I agree. It looked kind of like a Happy Meal toy or something.
Yeah, I think the paint colors on this one are a little bit more natural.
Yeah, and a little more exciting too, I think. We also have some new species. And I don't know exactly what we're saying these
What
are.
are they? I don't know. We have new species, and they look cool, and I can make guesses as to what they are. I don't know. I mean, the one looks like an iguanodon to me.
It could be an iguanodon, maybe a Maiasaura, maybe a Hadrosaurus. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like an attack pack is too small for that, for an iguanodon or, any of that, line of dinosaur.
It does.
So maybe it's like a juvenile. Maybe it's something like what they did with the battle damaged Triceratops, where they're just trying to give us a smaller one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I'm sure we'll find out at some point what it is, and we'll know if it's too small or not.
Yeah.
But it looks
I don't love
decent.
the paint scheme. I don't love it.
Exactly. I like the sculpt. I don't like the paint scheme.
Yeah. I mean, I always take all these photos with a grain of salt. Maybe in person it'll look a little nicer, but it just seems like I know who knows what dinosaurs were colored like, but this feels like a predator paint scheme, not a herbivore like paint scheme. But it's cool. And more herbivores, right? That's always good.
Yeah. We need more herbivores in this line, so that's always exciting to see. And the other one, Coelophysis, maybe?
Yeah, it could be. It's definitely. We know it's not a Colaris because we have that. And we know it's not like. I guess we really haven't had any. Oh, what's the other one that we have? Mononychus. Obviously, it's not that. So
right.
I mean, it's kind of like in that frame of dinosaur, but obviously something different. Not a raptor of any kind, like a dromaeosaur. I don't know. I mean, I think Coelophysis or is it Coelophysis or Coelophysis?
Coelophysis, yeah.
It's Coelophysis. Okay, I gotta try to pronounce it wrong.
Like Coelurus, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think the paint job looks pretty cool. I think if it was Coelophysis, it would probably. I would hope it would have more of a throwback paint scheme, but I like this one. I think it's got like a bright color on its head, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. I just noticed that it's a nice little touch. It's got some orange around its eyes.
Yeah.
But we need a Coelophysis in this line. They need to do all the counter dinosaurs, so
yeah,
we need a Lycanops too at some point.
Yeah, totally. I gotta say, people always knock some of these Mattel figures for having big feet, and I'm usually like, I don't even really, doesn't really bother me that much. But this figure, at least in this photo, looks like it's got big feet.
Yeah, I'm sure it has something to do with stability, which,
yeah,
if it came down to the figure standing or not standing, I'll take the feet being a little bit oversized.
Yeah, that's true. Looks like it has some nice neck articulation too, which is always kind of a bonus on some of these figures when they do that in the attack pack line. That's not just jaws and arms and legs. Like they add a little bit more to it so you can pose it a little better.
Yeah, totally. But I think that rounds up the attack packs. So we also have Savage Strike. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Savage Strike?
Yeah, so Savage Strike's back. Just like Attack Pack, same name of the assortment. This is like the little bit more expensive figures, but lots of new stuff here. And again, some repaints and maybe some re-releases. But again, I can't believe they're going to re-release the same figures. That's the Tape Jara and the Tape Jara and the Tape Jara and the jumping blue figure. But I don't know. I just can't see them coming out with those straight up again. Maybe blue, but the other ones I'm not so sure.
Yeah, that blue, I'm tired of seeing that blue. I mean, it's not even the right sculpt for blue, so it's like, I hate seeing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the Rhamphorhynchus is weird because, again, it does show the same colors, like you said.
Tape Jara, yes.
Tape Jara, sorry, getting my wires crossed here. So hopefully that also receives a new coloration.
Wouldn't that be cool? I would love a new color of that figure. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would too. I think it's probably one of the better pterosaurs. And so here's our non-standing Pachycephalosaurus making a return.
Yeah.
And this is one that I just don't like the sculpt. They're scary. Like if you put them on your shelf, they're very creepy looking. You have to turn them around so that they don't look at you. But I will say
this one doesn't stand at all for me.
They do not. Yeah. None of them will stand, and it's bad. They look awful and they don't stand. So 2 strikes right there. The action feature is decent, but what do you think about the colors on this one?
I mean, I just don't think we needed another one. I feel like, what do we have? 3 already.
Yes.
I don't know if we even needed another one, and I don't think the colors here really justify getting another one. If it was something really wild like yellow and black or something, like I could get behind that, but this just seems like meh.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like I like this coloration better than the other ones. I don't know. To me, it just looks.
The battle damage one is a little bit meh too, so it's definitely an improvement over that, I would say. But I really like the Legacy Collection one the best, obviously, because it looks like a Lost World Packy. So
Yeah.
I'm set with Packies, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what is that blue one that we have there? What are we saying that is?
Oh, this is Postosuchus, or Postosuchus, or is it Postosuchus?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Postosuchus. Yeah, that one. That one's super exciting. I think we kind of like almost knew this figure was coming because of the minis. You know, the mini dinosaurs had a Postosuchus.
Very cool. And from what I've heard, it's also a throwback color scheme.
Yeah. It looks like if you go way back to Kenner Series 2, they had if you like go in the back of the card where all the figures are and you can get all excited. When I was a kid, I was so stoked. One of the figures coming out was an Ornithosuchus in this color scheme that never saw the light of day. It was re-released for like Lost World and stuff, different colors, but this particular colorway never got released. So, I mean, it's one of those clever Mattel, winks at us collectors like, hey, we're in this back. I always love that stuff.
Yeah, I like this one. I really like the colors on it.
Yeah, no, very vibrant.
Yeah, and then the one at the top, the ankylosaurid.
Sauropelta, and I think we know this one's also Sauropelta because of, I think listings on Entertainment Earth confirmed the name, I believe. But I love this one too.
Yeah, it's neat. It's obviously going to be a little bit smaller than the other ankylosaurids we've gone, other than Minmi. That one's small, but I think Minmi's an ankylosaurid. I might be wrong. But yeah, this one does look cool. It's got some really big horns in its back. Colors are pretty bold. With the rusty orange color and the gray, and yeah, it looks fun.
I wonder if they're going to package this one on its belly because of this how wide those spikes look. Like I can't see that fitting in an attack pack blister the way the other figures do.
Yeah, it could be packed the same way they do the Rorovor's Ankylosaurus.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I love the orange color on top of this one. It's very, very vibrant. And I kind of like how it's like on its top of its legs too. It's good assimilation of the paint job throughout.
Totally. But Tim, you know what? I think my favorite one of all of these has to be that green Savage Strike Raptor.
Yeah, for sure. It's a blue Savage Strike repaint, but that sculpt on blue Savage Strike was awesome. And I know the first thing when we saw it, we were like, this has to be repainted for another Raptor. So here it is.
Yeah, no, here it is. And I think when we saw pictures, we were kind of like, but then when we got it in person, I think, we were like, oh yeah, this is great. And you know me, I love my Raptor packs. Like I have the very first, the orange attack pack Raptor. I have like 3 of those. I have the Legacy, the orange Lost World Raptor. I have 3 of those. And then I have the Walmart Battle Damaged Yellow Raptor. I've got like 4 of those loose. Yeah. So I love my Raptors. I love taking pictures of them. This is one that I'm totally gonna buy multiples of, like several of them. Like
I love that yellow Battle Damaged Raptor, but this one might be like close to tying that one as one of my favorite Mattel Raptors.
It's going to be great because, I mean, it's green, which is, great, like, generic Raptor color. Yeah. I mean, just, I can already envision it having several of them in, like, some photos. It's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. It looks like it's got some dark stripes on it, too. So I think it's going to look really nice. I hope we get more photos of, like, all these figures soon, but I'd love to see some more views of this one because it just looks like a really nice paint scheme on a excellent sculpt.
It does. It looks a bit like Charlie, too. But it's probably not Charlie. It's probably just, Velociraptor, I would assume.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. If it was like another whack at doing the Raptor squad in a new color. You never know.
Yeah, I guess
we'll see. Moving on, we got Battle Damage next. Battle Damage figures are for me hard to get excited about because they're so darn hard to find here in the U.S.
Yep.
Especially the ones that came out this year for 2019. So whether or not these ones will ever come, it remains to be seen. But I mean, there's still stuff to get excited about in this photo. If you're really determined on tracking them down and these do come out, I'm sure you can find a way. But to get it out of the way, there's a Stygimoloch in here with the same paint scheme that it's always had. Curious to see if that figure comes out yet again. I mean, that one seems like another shelf warmer to me, but some other cool stuff here.
Lots of cool stuff. Stygimoloch, we always see Styggy in the same color palette, so not really shocking. But the other ones actually look pretty interesting. That Triceratops is very vivid.
I'm glad it's back, though, because we got it once, the little Triceratops with battle damage, and it was a very cool sculpt again. It's kind of like a miniaturized trike, but it was kind of sad to see it just be used one time. So cool to see it coming back.
It's weird because, like, I think if you think about it, this might be the only like dinosaur that has like a smaller version in this in the whole Jurassic line.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of tell yourself it's a baby, but its proportions aren't really saying that. So yeah, it's kind of like a miniature version.
Yeah, but no, it looks cool. I like the bright colors. So now we have also it's a repaint of the first battle damage, or I guess the battle damage Velociraptor, and this time it's like a gray and it looks like a dark grayish blue color palette. Yeah, this one's cool. Kind of like thinking about what you said about Raptor packs. I like the idea of building Raptor packs with kind of generic colors, but this Raptor feels like kind of on its own Raptor. It looks very cool. I really want one, but probably just one because it looks kind of like a unique kind of character of a raptor. Oh, I'm getting like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great figure. We were just saying how it's a great version of Raptor is the battle damage, the yellow one. So again, glad they're bringing it back with another colorway.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. So there's also one more, and this is the only new one, like brand new sculpt in this wave here, and we don't really know what it is. It seems like maybe it's obviously a theropod. It looks like it might be like a small tyrannosaurid of some sort, but it's obviously going to be a new species for this line.
Yeah, some sort of carnivore. I have heard people say it might be a Metracanthosaurus, like again, just resized, which is interesting, but I don't know. I can see it probably being more likely a new species because, again, at Comic-Con they promised us, what was it, 19 species, and the math kind of checks out that this is probably a new species.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's going to be a new species. But yeah, it looks cool, and I do enjoy the colors on it as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit of like it's a carnivore. It's a little bit more of a generic carnivore, but it's got these hands that obviously are, whatever species it is, are going to be signature to that. So anxious to find out what it exactly is, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Very cool. So the next assortment we have here are the Soundstrike, and it sounds to me like these might be replacing Roarvors.
It sounds like it, yeah. I mean, there's a Triceratops in the assortment, so it's probably yes, a Roarvor assortment or a dual attack assortment replacement.
Yeah, let's look at the Triceratops picture here, and I'm gonna go with Roarvors because it doesn't look like it has the tail action this time.
No. Well, if you look on the box, you actually are able to move the tail, and that's what moves the head. So all these signature Primal Attack figures have that feature where the tail, like, it looks like it's almost 360. Like you can do. It's funny if you look on the box, the Triceratops is just like going for it. His head is totally sideways. That's cool though. They get that range of motion.
Yeah, no, it is cool. So these might actually be like more like a $20 price point, possibly. I don't know. Well, hopefully possible. Not.
Yeah, I hope not.
So as far as the species go, this first one that we have here is I think we're saying that's Edmonotsaurus.
Yes.
And I think that's going off of what Entertainment Earth says, right? I think they list it as Edmonotsaurus.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's pretty much confirmed.
It looks nice. I'm not sold on these colors. I know that for the Jurassic World website, like they had several designs on there that we didn't see in Jurassic World. And for Edmonotsaurus, they actually had a really pretty color palette that was kind of similar to that Pachycephalosaurus we were talking about just a little while ago. So I really wish they would have used that instead because I'm just not feeling these colors.
I believe this one's from Jurassic World Evolution, this colorway. Like it's inspired by a certain paint scheme because I've seen pictures of it realized elsewhere. So it's not out of nowhere, but I don't know. The body is maybe got room for improvement, but I love the head. I mean, I think the head color looks great.
Yeah.
That pop of color on the crest, and is it blue in the face? I mean, it just looks
Yeah, it's like like an
it.
aqua color.
Yeah, I like that part of it. It's very vibrant. Again, excited for another herbivore, so no complaints from me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we
And hey, the
also,
toenails are painted too. Gotta mention that
yeah,
'cause there's a
yeah.
lot of people that get after Mattel for that, and there's some. This thing's got painted toenails. Don't worry.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because
Yeah,
that's true. So we
yeah,
also have the Cryolophosaurus. This is a theropod dinosaur, and it looks pretty far out.
yeah. I was excited when they announced this species, and seeing it in the flesh kind of tempered my excitement. Sorry, seeing a picture of it. I have not seen the figure itself. Seeing a picture of it kind of tempered my excitement, but I'm still gonna reserve final judgment. This is one of my favorite species, so I want to stay excited.
Yeah, it's interesting. That is for sure. And I think I had found an image somewhere. Did I send you an image recently of a Cryolophosaurus that looked almost exactly like the same colors?
Oh no, I haven't seen that one. But is it another heavy inspiration from Mattel?
I think so. Just do a quick Google search here. But yeah, I saw one the other day when I was like just looking it up, and it was basically like the exact same
Huh.
colors. I'm trying to remember who made it or what artist had done it. I'll have to look for that later. But yeah, there was definitely something out there that it resembled as far as those colors go. Um, but yeah, so no, it's interesting. It's a bright yellow, and it's got some orange on its crest, and I feel like it looks a little bit more cartoony to me than some of the other ones. But
I think it's the teeth. The teeth are kind of all jagged and almost like an Indominus Rex. Like they're very like not
yeah,
lined up and orderly. That kind of. I guess I always imagine Cryolopus is a little bit more of a like a sleeker, refined carnivore, and this is sort of like a beast version of it.
right, yeah, that's true.
But worth mentioning, like for all of the paint obsessed collectors out there, a lot of these figures have this molded plastic kind of like detailing on them. So in this case, Cryolophus has a crest that's molded plastic, so that means it's not painted on, and that'll kind of help with paint damage, hopefully down the line. So
Yeah,
gotta point that out. I appreciate that in this figure. And this figure, if you look at the packaging, kind of has the same thing as the Triceratops, where you can move the tail and cause the head to kind of go back and forth and up and down.
hmm
Um, I love the packaging on these figures. Every time we see it, we got to talk about it. The Primal Attack packaging is just a thing of beauty to me.
except for one thing, but we don't have to get into that.
We don't have to get into that, but you got to love those fences and that sunset and the caution stripes on the left. Like that's some cool sort of scene setting for the back of the figure, the card back. So
Yeah,
I really like that.
no, I totally agree. I think this is their best like Jurassic packaging so far. Like, I mean, I really liked Fallen Kingdom and I like Dino Rivals, but yeah, I love seeing the fences, and these are obviously like Jurassic World, fences. They're not like Jurassic Park fences.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it looks awesome, and I really like how you have the mountains in the background, and it's nice.
Yeah, very cool. So the Triceratops again is I mean, I wouldn't call this a repaint. I call these retools, but it's the same Triceratops figure that we've gotten a few times.
Yeah,
I know we talked about it a little bit in the beginning with the action features, but all these figures have that action feature and sound as well. So that's kind of like a little bit of an improvement over Dual Attack, if you ask
yeah, I
me.
agree, and I hope they're new sounds too. I hope they're not the same sounds.
No, I wouldn't bet on it, but they might be new sounds. They could happen. What do you think about the color on this one?
I like it. I know in the last episode we talked about the current Dual Attack Triceratops, the blue
Yeah.
one, and we said that maybe that was the most movie accurate, but I kind of feel like this might even be a little bit more movie accurate now.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting how people interpret whether it's the Jurassic Triceratops, like the coloration of that differently because it was in the mud in the movie, but I kind of still feel like that blue one is a little truer to the movie, but this one also it's darker than obviously the blue one, so it obviously kind of lines up with the movie a little bit in that case.
Yeah, they definitely haven't done a movie accurate one. I think Kenner is the only company that really like nailed the color like the first. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
even that one wasn't 100%, but you know how there's like two
yeah,
variations of the trike that Kenner did.
yeah.
Um,
Right. As a kid, it felt 100%.
yeah, yeah, of course it did. But now you look at it now and the body's like kind of like weird, you know?
Yeah, right. No, totally. A lot of those figures are like that. The Stegosaurus, especially, but we won't get
Yeah.
on
No,
that.
no, no.
Um,
We can save that for another episode.
yeah.
But
Worth
yeah.
noting,
Uh-huh.
another Triceratops, though. I mean, like another one. I feel like this is another figure that tends to be a shelf warmer. So
It
surprised
does.
to see.
It does, but hopefully being a sound strike, it's going to offer something new. And again, I like the colors, and it reminds me a little bit of like a chocolate milkshake or something.
Yeah. In theory, we have another Triceratops before this one coming out for Dino Rivals, but that stuff's kind of all up in the air as we get later on in the year, and a lot of the figures in the app haven't come out. But we saw
Yeah.
Triceratops I mean, you saw with your own eyes at Comic Con a new colorway that we haven't seen before. That
Yeah, I liked that one a lot. I
me
hope
too. I
that
love
comes
that.
out. I hope that comes out.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic that that stuff will still come out. But I'm just saying, like, that's one more Triceratops before this one. I mean,
Right,
yet
right.
another. That's a lot of Triceratopses. But
It is a
you know, the
lot, and I do wish they would have used this opportunity to like given us a bigger one, but
yeah,
what can you
it's
do?
a popular species, right? I mean, I think that's what it comes down
Oh
to.
yeah,
Is
for
that
sure. Like
yeah,
my husband, like he's not really even into dinosaurs. What's your favorite dinosaur? Oh, it's always been Triceratops.
yeah,
So
basic. No, I'm just kidding. Good for him. Um, moving on to another popular species, flying reptile, though, is the Pteranodon. We have two photos of this, and the first photo is a little bit underwhelming, but seeing it in package personally gets me excited.
yeah, we have had several pteranodons. So different assortments had different pteranodons. So this one seems to be most like the dual attacks, and I do see the two buttons on this one. So
Yeah,
yeah, so it must be some kind of a retool involving like the two features. One of them activates the roar, I assume, and I don't know. I mean, the colors are kind of 90s to me. Like they kind of remind me of something I might have seen like on TV as a kid.
yeah,
But not film accurate in any way.
no,
We still need those Lost World colors.
yeah, that's true. I like the pattern though. I like points for trying with the pattern. I think that's what interests me. Is it kind of looks like flames almost, and just something a little more unique than just like airbrushed gradient of color that we've seen on a lot of the other ones.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's interesting. And what I just noticed they do have the new crest on this one that they used for the last the dual attack
Oh
Pteranodon.
yeah, wow, I didn't notice that. It's a
Yeah,
little bit bigger, right? A little
it's
longer.
a little bit longer. It's more film accurate to Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. And yeah, no, that is really cool. I'm glad that I like this one better, so I'm glad that they did that.
Yeah. That's something I never liked about Jurassic World Pteranodons was their tiny little crests. Whether that's more accurate, I don't know, but I like the longer crest. It reminds me of the Pteranodons of my youth.
Yeah, oh yeah, and they were a lot scarier in Jurassic Park 3 for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, all right, so okay, so here's one that I know we're both really excited about because we've been talking about it for a long time now.
yeah,
But we have the Extreme Chompin T-Rex
yeah,
with the Bite and Fight color palette.
yeah. We talked about this a lot the last episode, but this is a fresh view of it, and it just kind of reinforces the fact that I mean, look at that face. That's a Jurassic Park T-Rex. That's
Yeah,
what that face is. So, new
yeah,
photo of that, and it kind of reinforces that.
absolutely. And it's so weird, and we might have mentioned this in the past, but um, you know, a lot of the designs that Mattel been following have been the Jurassic World designs, but for T-Rex, it's definitely that 1993 T-Rex.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I can't wait for this figure. And I hope that this one, since it's not like Legacy Collection, kind of comes out everywhere and everyone gets a chance to get it.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm gonna get, I'll probably buy a few of them if I'm honest. But yeah, no, this is great. If for my next Hawaii trip, this would definitely be the one I take with me for photos and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it's going to be the quintessential toy photographer's T-Rex.
Absolutely. And moving on to massive biters. So is this do we have price point on this one yet?
We should know this because we both pre-ordered it. I don't really know what it is. I want to say it's 1999, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. So,
Yeah,
yeah, so we have the Tarbosaurus. This is the one that cued us into the packaging aesthetic, about a month
hmm
ago.
Yeah.
And no, it's fun. I know a lot of people seem to be excited about the Tarbosaurus.
Hmm.
I feel like it uses the arms of the Albertosaurus at least.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see, but the rest of it definitely seems to be new. It's very. It doesn't look to me like something we would see in the films, especially with like the row of spikes going down its body. But
Mhm.
no doubt, it's a great design. It looks like a lot of fun.
I like this. I think we see, Mattel figures that are very much like, oh yes, this is like a Jurassic dinosaur. And then we see Mattel figures where like, oh man, this is like a Happy Meal toy or something very cartoony. And then I see something like this and Mononicus, and I feel like these are like in the other direction where they're like almost hyper realistic. Not like in execution as a toy, but just kind of the way they're sculpted. This feels to me like a very like almost like a paleontology like a what am I trying to say here? Like a prehistoric life sketch version of Tarbosaurus. I just like the style of the face and kind of the silhouette of the face. It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Did you see the tongue on this one? Like it looks really detailed.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't notice that. I'm looking at it now. Yeah. No, it does. And the one in the box shot that we got about a month ago, this figure did not look that exciting to me. I was excited about the packaging, but the figure looked a little cheap. But
Hmm.
just this new angle of it, I just think it kind of brings it to life. That silhouette. I'm excited for it, and I just mentioned Mononicus. That Tarbosaurus and Mononicus were like actually like kind of neighbors back in the Mesozoic
Oh
era.
yeah.
I can't remember if it's Jurassic or Cretaceous they're in, but that's kind of cool that we're getting some species that might have like lived next to each other / ate each other. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's true. No, this is an
Yeah.
exciting one, and yeah, I just wish it had a little more paint, like like on the belly maybe, or the toes,
Yeah.
claws being painted. But it looks fun, and is that what we call the block painted teeth?
Yeah, or they're like formed plastic. It could be one piece of plastic, but yeah, the
Okay.
teeth aren't individually painted. That's a good call.
Yeah, no, it looks nice. The teeth look really nice.
Yeah. Interesting that the toenails aren't painted on this price point and they're painted on the Rebor price point. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it's such a simple thing that anybody could fix, but I don't like altering my factory like dinosaurs. Uh,
No,
un-
me too. I don't
unless
like
I'm
that.
going all out and doing a repaint, that's a different story, but I don't like just making like
Yeah.
small tweaks to like.
No, yeah, I don't like doing that either. I would say that these probably have the same primal attack action where you can move the tail and that moves the jaw or
Hmm.
moves the head and the jaw, and obviously the sound part is a part of it too. So,
Yeah,
um, I it doesn't look like there's a lot of seams for that in this figure though, which I appreciate.
right, totally. So we also have the Sarcosuchus.
Yep.
This is a brand new species for the line. It looks really cool. We haven't really had too much alligator or crocodilian type,
No, and
in
people are
this
excited
line.
about this one too. I mean, people are super excited when they showed the silhouette at Comic-Con. People were stoked.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm glad to see something like that. I'd like to see a Dinosuchus too at some point. But no, this is great. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it because it looks like it crosses all, it checks all the marks for me. I mean, it looks got a nice sculpt. Fairly natural coloration to it that isn't too outlandish.
Yeah,
And the teeth and the eyes look good. Yeah.
I feel like the eyes on this one feel a little like painted on as evil to me, like they're already angry. Um, but this is a blurry pic that we've scaled up to be viewable. So maybe when we see some high resolution photos, it won't look so angry already. Like settle
Yeah.
down.
Well, I mean, if you think about crocodiles, they look kind of evil too.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm excited for this one. It'd be cool if it kind of had like a hollow mouth and could chop up human figures. It looks like it's made for that, but I don't think it does. But that's
Hmm.
like the first thing I want to do is have it swallow somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that would be cool. Maybe if they do a Dinosuchus, like they can do like a bigger one and it can have that
Like a
feature.
mosasaur, like a
E-
real feel mosasaur. Yeah,
exactly. Where's our repainted Mosasaur, by the way?
yeah, that'd be incredible. That'd be awesome. Just something totally wild. I would totally get into that.
Yeah, that's one of the
But no,
best
this
toys in the line. I'm surprised we
yeah,
haven't seen it again.
that is interesting. But hey, we're getting our aquatic fix at least with this Sarcosuchus.
Totally.
I'm really looking at this thing. This sculpt is incredible. Like, wow, it looks like a real crocodile.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, all those scales and the ridges on the tail, that's really nice.
It is. Finally, we have the Control and Conquer Carnotaurus, which is a terrible name. Um, it reminds me of what Claire's saying. Oh, you're not in control here. This Carnotaurus apparently is. And yeah, it's got the Primal Attack feature. So it's going to be, it's not going to be your, how do they say it? Like your father's Carnotaurus, the previous one that came out. This is a brand new sculpt. It looks like from the ground up, I want to say, because I think even the legs are in a different position, aren't they?
No, I mean, I guess to me, just looking at it, I thought it just looked like a retool, but maybe the legs are a little bit more upright or kind of positioned forward a little bit.
Yeah, the
I
tail.
hope it's like bigger.
The
Yeah, the
tail's
tail
curved
feels
on this
different
one.
too.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I hope the figure's just like bigger though. Like even like 50% bigger would be nice.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like the first one is pretty close to film accurate size. So I don't know that I'd want to see him deviate too much from that. But I feel like the colors on this one maybe look. Would you say this one looks more film accurate, or would you say the first one does?
I don't know. I mean, I think this one does because that first one has such a bright white underbelly, which it looks like a beautiful design of the dinosaur, but definitely doesn't feel film accurate to me.
Yeah, that's true. I don't mind seeing another Carnotaurus. It looks nice, and I think it'll be fun. This seems like it'll be a great one to have like eating your human figures.
Yeah. Well, hear me out. If this is Control and Conquer Carnotaurus, and it's a retool of the action attack version, a $20 figure, and then we have the massive biters that are Tarbosaurus and Sarcosuchus that are $20 figures with Primal Attack action and sound. Why is this one called Control and Conquer? Why is it just not another massive biter? Is what's special about it? Is it a bigger figure? Is it tied to something like Camp Cretaceous? Like what's going on here? Why is it kind of singled out?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it will be like a $25 price point, and then they'll give us like a Control and Conquer Stegosaurus, maybe?
Yeah, something else. I don't know. It's just interesting that they chose to break it out from the same price point of these other figures.
I don't know.
They look sort of comparable.
I feel like it's going to be its own thing, honestly, though. Because, anytime they name something weird like that, like Destroy and Devour or Bite and Fight or Thrash and Throw, they're always specific to like one dinosaur.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like this will be its own thing.
Yeah, maybe the action attack works a little bit differently. Like the way you move the tail makes the neck move differently than the other figures or something. So we'll just have to wait and see more. But I think we're all big Carnotaur fans here, so we're excited.
Yeah, and then hopefully they'll give us our Slash and Shake Stegosaurus at some point.
Slash and Shake. I like that. That's clever. Yeah, sometimes I feel like they really try with these names and it doesn't always 100% work. And I think Control and Conquer is a prime example of that. But there's plenty of other figure reveals. This was the main line, but there's lots of other 12-inch, 6-inch mini dinos. I don't think we posted about them on our site, but you can definitely check out Jurassic Outpost. They posted all the photos. And we won't cover it all, right? We could talk about this all day, but definitely wanted to hit the mainline figures up.
All right, so a few other things we wanted to mention here in park announcements. So we have the Beasts of the Mesozoic. The Ceratopsian campaign just started last week, and we've talked about, Tim, the Raptor series that Dave Silva did a couple years ago, or I think it was 3 years ago now when that started. And, it was a hugely successful thing. His whole point was to show the toy industry that people are interested in highly detailed, highly articulated figures. And honestly, they're probably my favorite dinosaurs in my collection. Like I have a ton of dinosaurs and I love these so much. So the Ceratopsians are just awesome. I saw them at a Comic-Con and I was very impressed with the sculpts and the colors, and they're a little more expensive than the Raptors are, but as soon as that campaign,
they're bigger. I mean, they're bigger figures, so it makes sense.
Yeah, they are bigger, which is funny because they are a smaller scale. They're 1/18 scale, which is so that they fit 3 3/4 inch figures, whereas the Raptors were 6 scale for 12 scale for 6-inch figures. So they are bigger. And he's also doing some full-sized or some larger, like I think the Torosaurus and the Triceratops. Those are going to be, quite a bit larger and priced accordingly.
Yeah, those are going to be big. Yeah. That I looked at the kind of overall, like all the figures he has planned as stretch goals. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here. What I think was really cool about the way he develops his lines is he makes the components sort of scalable and interchangeable and customizable so that he can make like a wide variety of figures based off some like key components. And looks like that's what he's done for these two. But I love the colors on these. I think that's what I like most about Beasts of the Mesozoic in general is the colors.
Yeah, and he always bases his dinosaurs on actual living like animals, like the raptors. Those are all based on real birds, and the ceratopsians are actually based on reptiles. So,
cool! I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, so yeah, they look really cool. I went ahead and like with the raptors, I had to get in on day one. I backed the Styracosaurus, and I'm definitely gonna put in for some other ones too, because there's some really great designs, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to buy as many as I did with the raptors, because they are larger, they are more expensive, and for me it's mostly an issue of space. Because I already have the Rebors, I've got the Papos, I've got the Creative Beast, I got obviously Jurassic, and then the Terra by Batat, and several other things, Collect Day, Safari. So I got to be really careful with this, because this is the kind of thing where you can kind of go a little bit overboard, like I did with the Raptors. But not that I regret that at all. But I definitely will be back. I probably like three or four of these, I think.
Yeah, it's tough. It was the same thing with the Raptors for me. It's like I didn't know when to like draw the line, because they were all so cool and there was something I wanted. But I eventually settled on 3. And I think for these ones, the Ceratopsians, the Styracosaurus is definitely like a must-have for me. But I really like the Chasmosaur. I think that figure looks great. The Triceratops looks incredible.
Yeah,
it's very very contrasty paint job, not just like some dull one color wash like we see so much. So that's all stuff that's like very unique about these figures. On top of being very articulated, they just have a lot of thought put into their whole kind of the whole look of them. It's just really good stuff, and it's worth the price. It is expensive, but I can tell you as an owner of the Raptor figures, like it's definitely worth the price, if not priced really well for what you get.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing about it. These aren't Mattel Jurassic figures. These aren't, generic Walmart figures. These are as good as you're really going to get if you're a fan of like action figure style dinosaurs. Like they're fully articulated. The sculpting is, comparable to something you would get with Papo, if not even, more detailed. And, the colors are certainly superior to anything that I have in my collection, when compared to any of those other brands. So you certainly get what you pay for. They are very well worth it. I think even if you can only, get 1 or 2 figures, I think you're definitely going to be happy with them.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be backing here soon. There's just so much Jurassic to buy. I'm trying to be careful with my money. But I'll definitely be getting a Styracosaur for sure. Because I want to support the line and support, him and everything he's trying to do for just like dinosaur toys in general. I mean, you can't get behind that.
Absolutely. We want to see, dinosaurs continue to thrive in any way possible. That way we keep having more things to buy, I guess.
Yeah. Sort of weird, the cycle, but yeah, totally. You're right.
So I also want to mention Rebor. So Rebor has recently given us images of something that they had shown us before. So today, actually, they showed these images of their new, they're calling it the Grab and Go line. And they're going to have, supposedly they're going to be a little bit more affordable and less movie inspired. Like, a lot of their designs are obviously based off Jurassic and King Kong. And this is supposed to be a more scientifically accurate T-Rex. I don't know that it's probably not 100%, but, it's supposed to be more so than the previous ones that they've done. And so there's 2 color palettes, and this gets really annoying because they do this frequently. But yeah, we have like more of a plain, like, brown and beige T-Rex. Then we have this really detailed, it almost looks like a skull, doesn't it? Like the paint on its head.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is inspired by Dinosaur Revolution, which was a show on Discovery Channel. That was really cool. I mean, it was really nice. It was like little kind of vignettes of the life of different dinosaurs. Not like unlike Walking with Dinosaurs, very similar to that, but just a lot of really cool dinosaur designs in there. The T-Rex being one of them. I mean, yeah, it's like got a skull on its face, and I just think that's so unique, and it's not like far-fetched. It looks natural.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they look really good. And that makes it harder for me to decide which one I want because, I have a ton of T-Rexes. Like I said, I have a bunch from different companies, and I'm trying to be more selective with them because of room. But, I mean, this is definitely one I'll have to pick up one of them. I'm not sure which one yet, though.
This will probably be my first Rebor figure. I haven't got them ever. I'm always very tempted. The Dilophosaurus, I think we covered in one of our episodes, were definitely very close to me, but they always looked a little bit statue and less figure to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you just mentioned, and I'm looking at these photos now really closely, that this is kind of a new line for them. You said grab and go.
Yes.
And they look a little bit more like figurines, like Safari and other stuff that I dabble in collecting. So that automatically makes them a little more attractive to me. And this Dinosaur Revolution based T-Rex, it's a must buy. I can't see these being too expensive, so I'll definitely budget for getting one of these.
Yeah, and if you don't have it already, you absolutely need to get the Killer Queen that they did earlier this year. It's like if you want like a more detailed Jurassic Park inspired T-Rex, no company has gotten closer to nailing like the Jurassic Park T-Rex's color palette than they have.
Cool. No, I've seen it before, and it's definitely awesome.
Yeah.
So many toys, so many dinosaur collectibles to collect. It's hard to, pick
Right.
what you have to make space for. But yeah, no, these are great. I'm excited.
They do. And yesterday they also had images up of an unpainted. I guess it's like a dead T-Rex. I don't know if it's sleeping or dead, but this one's supposed to be more in line with the King T-Rex that they did. I think it was one of their first dinosaurs back in 2015. I want to say. That was the first one that I got, I think. And it's great. And I think this is supposed to like fit in more with that one. So plenty of T-Rexes to go around.
It'd be cool if it was sleeping. It reminded me of sort of that like Crash McCreary concept art for Jurassic with like that it was like Alan or someone sneaking up on a big sleeping T-Rex. That'd be kind of cool to pay homage to that. Next up, we have asset tracking, and we have a big asset actually to track this week, and a very popular one at that. That's the Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus. So worth mentioning, we record this podcast and then we spend some time in post-production with it. So we record this podcast and it comes out a few days later. So probably by the time this podcast comes out, a lot of collectors out there will have hunted down their very own Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus here in the United States. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a big asset, as you put it, and it's going to be a fun one to add to the collection because, I mean, I don't really even have to tell anybody listening, why it's going to be exciting to get. I mean, obviously, it's the first true, like, scaled Brachiosaurus the Jurassic line has had. It's something that is part of the Legacy Collection, so it's supposed to harken back to that original film. I know that you already have one of these, and you seem to love it, right?
Yeah, no, it's great, and I think everyone loves it even without having it because it's just so on point with the film, and the box art is gorgeous too. So it's like even people that want to keep it in the box, I think, are like really excited about it. I think they just nailed every aspect of this figure. And here in the US, it's $50, so it's like, why not?
Yeah, no, I'm stoked for the Brachiosaurus. It just seems like it's been a long time coming at this point because we learned about it well over a year ago at Comic-Con, and I think it was early this year that we started first seeing like images of the box, and then like images of the toy, and people have been waiting. It's been available for months now in other parts of the world, but here in the US, we're just waiting for They're actually in stock. Like if I go into Brixie, my local Targets have them, but you had a little experience yesterday, didn't you, trying to buy one?
Yeah, all the Targets around me in Chicago have them as well. And if you go up and you ask somebody like, "Hey," or you call and you mention, "Can you check for this item number, this DPCI number, which is a Target's version of item number? Can you look into this?" And they'll tell you right up. It's not available till October 6th. It's street dated October 6th. Even when they pull it up in store on their little like iPhone scanner things, they'll say, "Oh, this is not for sale till October 6th." So it's pretty firm that it's going to be out that day. People even found it and not been able to buy it. Like they bring it up to the cash register and it just freezes, and they find out they can't buy it yet. So looks like they're putting some thought into kind of releasing this figure right.
Yeah. I definitely think that Target slash Mattel learned the lesson from the Spinosaurus and how that was handled. And they don't want a repeat of that because it, obviously would be really bad PR for them.
Yeah.
So it definitely seems like they've organized this release. They've done a lot of planning. They want it to be available on October 6th. I assume that that's going to be maybe a light reset or something, since that's when all the Star Wars merchandise is going to be added to the shelf. So, yeah, that's going to be an expensive weekend. Force Friday and Jurassic World.
Star Wars,
Brachiosaurus.
Yeah, because you're not going to buy just one, right? You're gonna buy a couple.
I might have to start off with just one. I mean, it's going to be an expensive weekend, and I think I mentioned to you too that I'm planning to go to Disneyland that weekend. So
yeah, that's going to be a very expensive weekend.
It's going to be a very expensive weekend, and yeah.
Well, that's no problem if you only get one. I don't think that this is going to be like a flash sale Brachiosaurus and then it's gone from stores. This isn't. We don't know if the figure is going to be online because the product page got taken down. But obviously, at this point, it's coming out in stores literally like in the next week, and they've actually made space for it on the shelf. So they don't intend to throw two figures out on the shelf and then have them sell out and have an empty shelf space forever. It might take a while for them to restock again with new shipments, but I don't know about what your experience is, but with the Super Colossal T-Rex for me, when Fallen Kingdom first dropped, or Fallen Kingdom toys first dropped, that Super Colossal Rex sold out and then didn't get restocked forever, and now it's like restocked on the regular. So I think that's might be what happens with this one.
Yeah, I can see it going one of two ways. I can see that, like I was saying, maybe it seems like it's a lot better organized so far as the planning for the release. I can see them Target being a little bit afraid to stock something so big and have, be stuck sitting on a lot of stock. So it could be a situation where, they don't have really enough to go around, or they do sell them and it takes a long time to get more in stock. But I can also see it, being, like very well handled, where they'll have plenty to go around through the holidays. And if you want a Brachiosaurus, so. I think one of the things that we as collectors and kids as well have on our side is the price point. It is a large item, it is a higher priced item, and traditionally when you talk about toys, like the more expensive stuff seems to sit around a little bit longer. And that'll be better for people having that opportunity to go into their stores or get one online and add it to their collection. So
less impulsive.
Yeah, and scalper wise too, because of the price.
Yeah, it's harder to make you got to store all these things in your garage if you're scalping them. Yeah, not worth it.
And then you got to ship a huge box across, wherever you're selling it to. So
for sure, no, that's totally true. But yeah, very exciting that it's finally coming to the U.S. Obviously, probably one of the most anticipated figures ever for Jurassic ever. Whether you're talking about Kenner or Hasbro or Mattel, like this is definitely like a very big deal, and I think pretty much every collector who takes their collection seriously as we do is going to be getting one. So I'm really interested to see like this thing just like blow up once it comes out here in the States. I know it's been elsewhere, but there's obviously a huge collecting community here too. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. It's going to be like kind of an event.
Yeah, no, it is. And did you have a hashtag ready to go for this?
I should make one. And I also want to say, this is how much faith I have in stocking this. I put my reputation on the line. Like I know come holiday, someone's going to tag me in a picture with an end cap of these, like the end of an aisle, just filled with Brachiosaurus. I know that's going to happen. Mark my words. I think that Target is coming to like the table with more than enough figures to go around. And I think it'll be a popular figure for collectors, and I hope it'll be a popular figure just for like toy lovers and dinosaur lovers, I really want to see this one take off.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. There's a lot riding on its success. If it does well, then I think we can expect to see more things in this, higher price point, larger dinosaur size. And, we still
and
need...
Legacy Collection too,
And Legacy Collection. Exactly. If Target sees that Legacy Collection is still making money, if they see that they can sell an item like this and people will pay for it, then that's a really good sign. And, we obviously still need an Apatosaurus. And, there's other things we need still. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
What's the big Lost World herbivore? Myrmecosaurus?
Your favorite one.
A lot of people want that one. So, I mean, that's another figure that could totally come out in this line.
Myrmecosaurus, yeah.
Myrmecosaurus. So everybody do your part. Buy at least 2 of these. Show the powers that be that this is a popular figure. I think a lot of people are buying 2. So I'm not even joking when I tell people that. So exciting stuff.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. And finally, as we get into around the Jurassic World, something big hit the internet last week. Actually, it hit the FX network, and then it hit the internet. If you were like me, you had to wait an extra 3 hours to see it because you were on the West Coast. But that is Battle at Big Rock.
Yeah, wow. Where to even begin? Our first non-movie but still film Jurassic piece that's in the canon of all the films. It's a short. 8 minutes long?
Yeah.
Takes place after Fallen Kingdom. Kind of maybe a little bit of a hint of things to come for Jurassic World 3. I mean, just the fact that it exists is huge. It didn't even have to be good. And the fact that it exists is such a big thing.
I know.
But it was good.
Yeah, it is good. And, they didn't even have to make this. I mean, it all it does is help, the hype machine and for the next film. And I think if they made another one next year, I think that would really help as well. I'd love to see another short film situation where dinosaurs are in our world. But yeah, no, this was very exciting. We've been waiting for this for a very long time. As we noted in the last episode, this is something that kind of got leaked at Toy Fair through Mattel, and the toys started hitting in May, and we all added them to our collections, and you can still get them through Amazon. I've heard some people say Target, but I haven't seen them at my Targets yet.
I've seen them. I have seen them at my Target. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so yeah, they're out there. But now we have the actual film to go along with the toys. So this was super, super cool to see. I know that I was very excited and very happy with the way that it turned out. I do have some nitpicks with it, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tim,
I'm wondering, I'm kind of wondering, do we need to summarize it? I'm sure everyone listening has hopefully seen it, right? Is there anyone out there who's held back? But I mean, at this point, I think we can just say it's obviously a battle. Takes place in a campsite
called Big Rock.
Yeah, exactly. We got Mesozoic, we got Allosaurus. We have kind of a female and a baby, and then the male rushes in to save the day. And the Allosaurus kind of comes for this family, and they fight it off. It's all very happens so fast, but it's so kind of well constructed and flowed that it seems longer than it is, But that's the gist of it. I just want to kind of put that in review as we kind of dive into it. But I mean, yeah, just so cool. More Jurassic dinosaurs on screen, new species. It's amazing. Yeah,
we don't need to rehash it. I'm sure everybody's seen it now. If you're listening to a podcast about Jurassic World, then, you've seen it.
Yeah, you're in deep. You're in deep.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'll just say, I enjoyed it. I really like the dynamic of, the human family and then the dinosaur family. The Pseudoceratops, like the dad says, oh, this is just nature. You see the Pseudoceratops protecting the baby, and they fight off the Allosaurus. And then the same thing happens with the human family. The Allosaurus comes for them. They manage to fight it off. And, poor Allosaurus just goes about his or her day without dinner. So, no, it was really cool. And the visual effects were awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The dinosaurs don't really look like the toys that Mattel gave us. But, I mean, when do they?
The Triceratops is close-ish, I guess. The Allosaurus, no, nothing like it. I would like to have a toy of that Allosaurus that's in the short. But maybe we'll get a exploded fire hydrant variant of the one we already have. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no, that that is true. That would definitely make a great accessory if they
Yeah.
ever, did figures. They'll never do them, but if they did figures from Battle at Big Rock.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, we can't really see the dinosaurs all that well because it is dark. So I don't know how close the colors are or not. I mean, they're not that close. I mean, we've seen like behind the scenes stuff and
Yeah.
that Colin Trevorrow posted, and it doesn't seem like I mean, Mattel, they made a good effort. I don't think that the designs are that close though. It's still fun to have toys, and it is still fun to see them, how they tie into this Battle at Big Rock, because it was great to see like, more dinosaurs.
Yeah, no, and I thought the baby playing with the light, like it was just really cool to see natural kind of behaviors, and then the way the light like played off it, like the firelight with the dinosaurs, it just all looked very real, and it didn't look, sometimes I feel like the CG in the Jurassic World movies can fall apart based on kind of the scenery, but I think they picked a very like appropriate sort of dark but central light source environment that just really made the dinosaur designs very impressive looking.
Yeah, no, it was great, and I really liked how they had, it was Big Rock, in the Angeles National Forest, which is huge. So I mean, you can totally, see how dinosaurs, after migrating from Lockwood Manor, on the other end of the state, you can totally imagine, what that's like, having an encounter with them in the middle of a campground, because they are out there, obviously,
Yeah.
in this world,
Yeah.
in Jurassic World, and no, it was really neat to see how that could play out in that environment where now humans and dinosaurs are literally thrown back in the mix together, and they're having these day-to-day interactions. And I think the end of Battle at Big Rock too, where they had like that that roll of all the different clips,
Oh
also
yeah.
helped to kind of paint that picture of what that new
hmm
world is like.
For sure. I think Battle of Big Rock, like the actual film, I was like, oh, this is exciting. There's little bits of dialogue that kind of hint at something bigger going on with dinosaurs in the world, like something the dad said, about like, or maybe it was the mom who said like, you heard what happened up north, like this little ominous hints. But then the end credits, it was like, oh man, I got so much more excited kind of seeing just sort of everyday kind of things like, a little girl running away from copies. It was
Yeah.
just, it was cool to see them kind of taking it. It wasn't just like headlines of like dinosaurs attacking people. It was just them going about their way and kind of getting in the way of what other people were doing.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I thought it was great. It was a really good way, just that little montage to sort of get us in the mood for what's happening in Jurassic World 3.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really exciting to see what they do at Jurassic World 3, because I think, if this is a taste of what that's going to be like, I think it's going to be really exciting. I think it's going to be obviously a fresh take on the story, because we haven't really, gotten to this point yet until Fallen Kingdom, where, basically the dinosaurs are out there now. So that'll be really interesting to see. As far as nitpicks with it, did you have anything that really bothered you?
At this point, I'm still feeling pretty agreeable about the short. I know of the things people have issues with, but for me personally, I was pretty happy with it. I thought maybe some of the acting, it was a little. I mean, some of it was okay, and other parts of it, I was like, ooh, they didn't have very much time to kind of establish the
Yeah.
characters, which always makes it a little harder to kind of get in, like, get engaged with them. But other than that, like, I mean, I like the effects, the dinosaurs, the flow of action, the feasibility of it all. A little girl shooting a Allosaur in the crossbow. But the crossbow, to me, that lives in the Jurassic World universe. That
Yeah.
that
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
stuff happens. So like that doesn't bother me. Like I wasn't someone who didn't like when Kelly Acrobat kicked a raptor. That was always fine with me. So I'm okay with all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean that, yeah, as you know, that's totally like, Kelly kicking the raptor, or Lex like hacking through the system and getting everything back online, or,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 3, Eric throwing out the cans to, collecting the T-Rex pee, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's, no, I enjoyed it. I don't really have a lot to complain about. I think, like you noted, the acting, I think it was mostly like I had a couple problems with the dad mostly. Like when his first line about oh, there's bears out here. Like I didn't really like his delivery or like the way like his expression just seemed kind of forced or something.
Yeah.
So that and also the Allosaurus. It just the design was fine. I was fine with the design. It looked better than the toy led us to believe it was going to look like, but it just kept getting bigger and bigger as Big Rock went on. Like it seemed pretty natural, but then once it broke into the trailer, it's like the size of a T-Rex. And then when we see that really great shot of the fire and then, the mom and the dad and then the Allosaurus about to chomp down, like it's like as big as an Indominus now. It's just like, it just got bigger and bigger. It was weird.
Just got bigger and bigger. Yeah. And I think it's too bad because when it does kind of come tromping up to the fire, it's like, wow, that's a great looking Allosaurus. Like you said, it felt right. But also the kind of action as it, pressed its nose against the glass and broke into the trailer and, its snarling jaws were coming towards the baby. Like, I feel like its head had to be that big for all those scenes to really work. If it had been the size that it needed, it really should have been. I feel like it would have been a little wimpy. So I do like how all those scenes came together because the Allosaurus head was so big. But I think they probably could have averaged it out a little bit. And then like you said, that kind of last iconic scene where it's roaring and they're kind of have their weapons raised up, like it could have been smaller and it would have still been a really cool shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I notice these things and they really like get to me. Like,
I'm a firm believer that a lot of people don't notice them. Like your casual viewer doesn't notice them, but they definitely pushed it a little too far. I think they probably could have, like, again, smoothed it out a little bit. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of size inconsistency, but they didn't have to make it so obvious.
Yeah, it's just as a viewer, that kind of takes me out of it a little bit. Like, when you see things inconsistencies like that just kind of don't make sense. But, on the whole, I think they accomplished what they set out to do. It was entertaining. It was short, but it was very well produced. CG was awesome. And, I think it was what it needed to be. And I'm really happy that it's now part of the Jurassic World canon. And, again, I hope we see some more of these before Jurassic World 3 comes out.
Yeah, and I got to say, I really liked going in completely blind, not knowing anything about it. I think that really helped me personally enjoy it a lot more. With Jurassic World, I watched every trailer and promotional clip that ever hit the internet before I went and saw that movie. And then when I saw the movie, it was like I'd seen the entire thing already, just not in order.
Right.
And then with Fallen Kingdom, I tried to be more careful and only watch 2 trailers, which really helped. But I still had like lots of expectations with the movie, and I always kind of have to watch it twice to really like decide how I feel about it.
Sure.
But for Battle of Big Rock, it was like just buckle up and enjoy it. I love that about it.
Yeah. That is a really good point. Especially with like the Jurassic films, they're notorious for showing way too much before the films come out. So
yeah. If I was a stronger-willed person, I would like not watch trailers at all for Jurassic World 3. But who's gonna do that?
Yeah. I mean, I like the Star Wars approach that they've taken in the last few years, where they show you just enough to keep you interested, but they don't or get you interested, but they don't give away the story. And I really wish Jurassic did that.
Me too. I love how Star Wars does it. And then you go see the movie and you're like, wow, why didn't they put that in the trailer? That was incredible. But I'm glad they didn't, because I got to experience it fresh. But no, Jurassic doesn't pull any punches with their trailers or marketing. They show everything. So again, Battle of Big Rock was just a great experiment in going in dark.
Yeah, 100%.
And just a cool experiment in general for Jurassic to sort of, start a new, kind of explore a new medium. And I, like you said, another short would be perfect next year to get people amped up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the plan.
Maybe that's the plan. All right. So we wrapped up our podcast recording earlier this evening. And we're back recording again a few hours later because we just got some incredible news.
Yeah. Who would have thought that after recording an episode, some major news would hit? We'd have to come back and rush to cover it. But the trio is back.
I can't believe it. I was literally like playing. I was literally taking my legacy figures off the shelf and putting them inside the Jeep. Just dusting and things like that. And then, my phone started blowing up. So I took a look, and all I saw was the original 3-year back. I'm like, what? And like it clicked right away. So I had to go online and start, looking at all this on Twitter and Facebook. And sure enough, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum are in Jurassic World 3.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I feel like it was, they were getting harassed at every event. Like, people were asking them questions, and they were kind of like, nah, I can't really talk about it. But like, I guess I never really believed it was true. Like, and it's true, and it's just nuts. Like, I was like, oh yeah, Malcolm came back, and the fact that they're in big roles too. I mean, that's what I'm freaking out about over here too. That they're not coming back as like cameos or something. Like,
yeah,
they're gonna be a big part of the movie. That's incredible. I mean, that's like on a whole other level than just, being in the movie. That's like a whole other separate thing to react to.
Yeah, that's incredible. So just a little bit of a background. So up in LA, they were doing a screening of Jurassic World along with Battle at Big Rock. And Colin Trevorrow was there. And that's basically where they broke the news, I guess, at the very end of this screening, from what I understand. And Laura Dern came out. And they basically talked about it a little bit, and Colin finally announced that the three of them would be returning, like you said, Tim, in major roles.
Yeah, no, that's just like nuts.
It's thrilling.
For sure. No, I was getting ready to turn in, and I was talking to Chris from Jurassic Outpost, and I was like, is something supposed to happen here? And he's like, just go check out Laura Dern's Instagram. And her live videos are all her like eating popcorn outside a movie theater, and I'm like, oh, something's going to happen. And then I guess I can't believe it's all three. I mean, I can't believe it's one of them. Even Jeff Goldblum's coming back again. I mean, it's incredible. It's hard to process.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was like in tears a little while ago. Like, it's just, I mean, if your fandom for this franchise goes back all the way to the beginning, and you were a kid when Jurassic Park was in theaters, and just immersed in that universe, buying the toys and, the book and, all the merchandise that came, the trading cards, the magazines, all that stuff. This was a critical part of your youth. This was a major thing for, especially if you were a dinosaur lover, like as a kid. And, Jurassic Park really was like transformative in that sense, in that, there were no dinosaurs like what we got in Jurassic Park. That movie just totally changed things.
Yeah.
And the toys changed things. And, if you go back that far and then you get this news, 30 years later, basically, almost, it's a mind numbing thing. I'm really like shocked right now.
Yeah. I always tell people this, and they think I'm joking, but I'm serious. When I was a kid and you had to fill out those worksheets, like, who's your hero? I would always put Alan Grant, even though he wasn't a real person. As a kid, being super into just dinosaurs and, archaeology and all that stuff, like, yes, he was a fictional character, but like, he was definitely like a huge character and somebody I looked up to, even just inside that one movie. It was like that. And, yeah, I mean, I'm a OG Alan Grant fanboy, so the fact that he's gonna come back, and I'm so optimistic because I personally have enjoyed the Jurassic World movies a lot. That it's gonna be awesome. It's not gonna be some throwaway role. It's gonna be something really significant and like hopefully bring things full circle for the entire franchise.
Absolutely. It really has to at this point. I mean, they were there from the beginning. They're here presumably at the closing of the cinematic franchise, unless they, expand on it later on. I guess it'll depend on how well it does. But it's I'm almost at a loss for words. It's just like the most amazing like news. Like, if you're, like I said, if you're a Jurassic fan, I mean, this is what we've been asking for and hoping for and wishing for a long time now. And the fact that it's like actually happening, it's really crazy. It's really crazy.
No, I too am a little bit at a loss for words, but I know it's just like I was gonna say something and I forgot. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be real here, but I was gonna say something and I totally lost my train of thought. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously the toys are a part of it for me too. Not to like spoil what's a really cool emotional moment for the movie, but like, I mean, this is why we're here to talk about toys and everything. And it's like, what does this mean? Are we gonna see action figures for like a new Alan Grant? Like, is he gonna be like, what's his outfit gonna be? Well, is it gonna be like an
Yeah.
homage to the original movie? Like, are they gonna release versions of the old movie figure again in like new ways? My mind is just like it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. My mind went straight to that as well. Like, a few minutes after learning this, I was like starting to think, oh, so, we're going to have new figures, hopefully. And yeah, what are they going to look like? They're probably going to look a little bit older. They're probably going to have costumes that look kind of similar, but, a little bit more modern. Obviously, Grant's got to have his hat, right?
Or his red handkerchief or like something like that. I feel like
Yeah.
they gotta give us something, or maybe even just his aviators, like
Yeah.
yeah, we were just talking earlier tonight about Battle of Big Rock and how excited that makes us for where Jurassic World 3 could go. And like I was already like on a pretty good level with Jurassic World 3, like, oh man, this is gonna be something really interesting. But like throw in dinosaurs in the wild interacting with, you know, the modern world, and then throw in Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler and Ian Malcolm back in there, and it's like, what? What's this? This is gonna be so cool.
This is awesome. I'm just we're literally reacting right now because we just learned this a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
So it's
No.
yeah, it's the most amazing thing, and yeah, I'm absolutely stoked, and just bring it. I'm really excited.
Yeah. I mean, bittersweet. Like, this is great. This is definitely like the core cast we want back, but it's too bad like Bob Peck, who played Robert Muldoon, passed, because I mean, I feel like every bit of him being part of the cast and being a real triumphant return, that would be like an amazing thing too. If he could make it, if he could come back, Robert Muldoon was just right up there with me, all the other characters.
How would he come back if he died?
That's true. That's true. But hey, they can bring. Surely there's someone in Star Wars we thought was dead who came back. Boba Fett, did he ever come back? I mean,
Not yet.
not yet. But I just feel like there's a way to yeah, no. But I guess having these three is definitely incredible enough, and we all probably have BD Wong coming back too. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Like, it's just incredible to think after all these years that the film is still like utilizing those roles, and hopefully like with Wu, I think they did a really good job of utilizing him in a good way that served the story. So I think that's going to be the case here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be great. I mean, they're building on, what the Jurassic World trilogy started, and closing out with the Jurassic Park, trilogy began this whole saga. So it's, and like I said, we're all this many years out from that original film. So, we've had basically lived our entire lives with these characters, and, to have them coming back in a major way in this next film is I really can't think of anything more exciting than that for Jurassic World 3.
No, yeah, no, and something that makes the most sense too. It's it's not like they're going back to Isla Nublar, but they're still infusing that original movie in a huge way in Jurassic World 3. So I want this scene where like the original trio takes like Bryce and Chris Pratt into this garage, and they pull off like a cloth, and it's just the Ford Explorer, the Jungle Explorer, just ready to go, and they're about to go, rescue or sorry, probably run from some dinosaurs. Like, I want the Jeep to come, or the Explorer to come back too. It's if Mattel doesn't make a toy now, when will they?
Yeah, when will they? That's definitely got to happen. I think that's on the top of everybody's list now that the Brachiosaurus is happening.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. I guess I've kind of thought too that Jurassic World 3 was really gonna embrace the nostalgia with merchandise, and I mean, to me, this just sort of strengthens that prediction for me. It's like, we're leaning in to your nostalgia with the casting, and there'll be obviously articles everywhere tomorrow, and it'll be like a big giant thing that the original cast of Jurassic Park is coming back for the last movie. And I just think too, with merchandise and marketing and all that stuff, that they're going to really, really lean into it, which hopefully means a lot of cool stuff coming our way.
Yeah, I'm just envisioning the movie poster, what that could look like.
Oh man, yeah, totally. Oh
If
my
they do like a
gosh.
Star Wars style poster with all the characters
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. Or individual character sheets would be awesome too.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
I'm sure they'll make ample use of that. I mean, that's what they brought him onto the movie for, and I'm sure there'll be some really, really cool imagery, designed around that. Wow, yeah, I'm thinking of something new every second here. I'm just like, oh man, oh that'd be cool if they did that. Yeah, no,
Yeah. No, it's great, and you know what? I also wonder if I think you kind of mentioned it earlier. Like, are we going to see more classic merchandise maybe since their involvement in this new film is happening? Like, will there be more of a push to kind of get those original images of these characters back out into the forefront, like in terms of merchandise, toys, and all that?
I think they could because if you think about it, like, I know we're really deep into this franchise, but their outfits are pretty like iconic. From the first movie, the colors and like the pairings, like I think I can just see even their particular imagery from the first movie kind of making a comeback in merchandise too.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Very iconic. All three do have their very distinct looks that we associate with
Yeah,
those characters. So yeah.
yeah. We've already kind of seen like Jeff Goldblum's Ian Malcolm and sort of he still looks like Ian Malcolm, but they've kind of updated his look and everything. I'm sure they'll do something similar. Like you said earlier, he's got to have the hat, but it's got to have something. Oh man, I mean, it's I can't wait to see what they do with it, and I hope that they really. I'm sure they will really pay a lot of respect to the original movie and have some fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they will. I think we're going to get a lot of nostalgia. I think we're going to get a lot of throwbacks, nods to that original film. Probably even more from that original novel, I'd assume. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, there's just so much that we'd sit here all night theorizing about what's going
Yeah,
to happen. But I think the great thing right now is just celebrating this awesome news because I mean. I think we've talked about in the previous episode that this is what we wanted to happen, but I didn't expect to hear this kind of news until maybe another right before they were going to start filming or something.
yeah, no,
So the fact that we have this news and it came out at a weird time too because usually stuff like this comes out like in the morning or afternoon. It's like it's already here it's 11 o'clock on your
yeah,
end. It's already after midnight, so it's
yeah.
like it's wild. It's really wild.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't happen while I was at work. Otherwise, I'd be like, "Wah! I can't react to this right now, but I need to react to this right now."
Yeah.
I think, and I feel like we're like in a news cycle now where it's like we had Battle of Big Rock, we have this announcement, we have the live show starting soon, and I just feel like we're just gonna have like all of these things that are sort of carrying us through, as the movie goes into production and as the next one comes out, like. It's hard to forget we're mid-movie cycle, but I think like there's going to be sort of a building hype of marketing and releases. I hope.
Yeah, I think there will, but like that's a good point too. They're really ramping things up for the promotion and the filming of Jurassic World 3. I mean, it's already shooting next year,
Yeah,
so yeah, no, this is great. There's going to be a lot to cover. In addition to all the new toys we talked about earlier, there's going to be all this news surrounding this new film, and yeah, just leading up to the film, it's going to be quite an event. Now, I think I think this really solidifies like how much of an event this film is actually going to turn out to be.
I just hope I don't have to wait until that movie comes out to get an Amber Collection Alan Grant because that's a long time to wait. I heard rumblings of a Ellie Sattler
Yeah,
coming at some point. So
we need them both, like
but
ASAP.
can't you just see them like holding off the release for the third movie?
Oh
Just
man, I hope
because.
not.
I hope not too. But I mean, it makes sense. But I hope they don't do that. Yeah, I that's the thing I'm thinking about now is like, wow, Amber Collection. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, it's really exciting that we have this toy line that we can kind of make plans off of based on how strong of a push they've had every year with new stuff. Like how they're going to take that when they have a movie to make merchandise around. So I know a lot
Totally.
of people really want vehicles and humans. So like, here we go. Here's the humans that we really want.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's great, exciting news. I'm stoked. I'm gonna sleep, I think, a little bit better tonight knowing this.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and yeah, it's awesome. Bring it on.
Yeah, and it was awesome that we could jump on here and, kind of react to it live and freak out over it live and, ramble about all the cool stuff we want to happen live.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best way to do it.
Awesome. Well, awesome news.
Life found a way. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Tim, and we hope you'll check us out online. Obviously, you can find Collect Jurassic at collectjurassic.com. Also on social media, which is Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all at /CollectJurassic. You can also get in touch with us directly with our email at collectjurassic@gmail.com.
And you can find me online by visiting the Victoria's Cantina YouTube channel. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram at Victoria's Cantina and on Twitter at Vic's Cantina. If you're listening through Apple Podcasts, please be sure to leave us a review and give us a rating. You'll help other Jurassic fans and collectors be able to discover the show for themselves.
So thank you for visiting. We hope you've enjoyed your visit to the park.
Please make your way towards the main gate. We hope you'll book a return visit for another adventure into Collect Jurassic World.